Aquaba, and welcome to Expat Life Ghana. I'm Ayo, and this is Tony, and we're documenting our move from Texas to Ghana as we go beyond the return. We lived in Texas, and there were a couple places where you forbade me from stopping.
Yeah, you can't pass through there. In this video, we're talking about things you'll hate about America after being in Ghana.
Ooh, that's a heavy one. Let's get this video started.
We just got back from a return trip to the States after a year in Ghana.
And that meant having to go back to being Black in America. Now, we did a video all about that, and you can check it out at the end of this video. We'll leave a link down below as well.
So here's the thing. There are some major ways that going back to America is harder after you spend some time in Africa.
That's a real thing, yeah? Like harder? Just a little harder. Like
it's
harder,
noticeably different. You're like, whoa.
Ooh, okay, so here are 5 things that you'll hate about America after living in Ghana.
Yes. The number one thing is you're going back to being Black.
So serious.
Yeah. What do I mean by that? You're going back to not seeing people that look like you as a majority.
Wait. Now, people live in the Chocolate City. There's a lot of people in Detroit. There are places in the States where you're surrounded by Black people.
Yes. However, you're still not the majority in America. So for places that I would go that I would have to take care of business and things like that, I'm still looking around for somebody that looks like me. So
when we went to the States, I was in Wisconsin, and Wisconsin does have a city that is majority minority, and that's Milwaukee. The problem is that when you leave Milwaukee, you stop seeing the minorities.
Right.
So I was in a more rural area, and there were a couple of days where I was like, I did not see another Black person other than my kids.
Yeah.
So that was a little...
Not for me.
That was very much removed from our Houston experience, where things are a little more culturally diverse.
Yeah.
But being here, you're absolutely right. It's just like, there's not a lot of white people.
There's not.
Is that okay to say? Can you say that?
And it's not a negative thing. It's just, I think you get more comfortable around people that you relate to. So.
Right. You're not always the only one in a room.
Right.
So there are white people here in Ghana.
Oh yeah, there's a lot.
Don't hear that there's not any white people.
There's a lot of foreigners.
Yeah, there are.
Yeah.
And Hispanic and Asian people too. It's not just all Blacks.
Black or white. Yeah.
So just, something to think about.
Yeah. And the baggage of being Black, the baggage of Blackness, that kind of goes into the stereotypes that people have about Black people, and you have to pick that back up. And they're not positive stereotypes, so you have to pick up the understanding that people have these stereotypes, and you kind of have to navigate your way through that.
That's so interesting, because that was one of the big things that stood out to me on your first trip here, was that you said it was the first time that you weren't Black, and I was like, that was like a thing. So now do you feel like when you're in Ghana, you're free of your Blackness, or you're okay with, is that like you're not Black? Is that...
Yeah, it's like, if somebody followed me in a store, it's not because I'm Black.
Why are they following you in the store?
They don't.
They don't.
So
if they do, they're following you like, do you need anything? Can I help you?
It's not because, hey, this Black dude in here to steal. Then they'd have to follow every Black dude that goes into the store. It's some differences like that, that you're like, hey, this nice feeling walking around the store and somebody following you to help you and give you assistance, instead of looking like, did he put that candy bar in his pocket or back on this shelf? That kind of thing.
So you feel like there's a baggage of Blackness that you get to be free of here.
Yeah, I can drive around in any neighborhood and feel like I belong here, And there's some neighborhoods where you drive around, you're very conscious of the fact that it's a other race majority neighborhood, and you may not be as welcomed.
That's kind of frightening. Well, let's move on to the second thing that you might hate being in the States: the junk food. Oh, you know what's really weird is, like, in the beginning you're like, yes, you're like, oh, I'm gonna have a burger, and I'm gonna have, I don't even know all the things that you want to have. I'm gonna have tacos with queso, and then after a couple of days you're like, this food is not that good.
But it tastes great. I'm not gonna lie, just thinking about a Baconator. Oh my goodness.
Oh my god, it's like a heart attack in a wrapper.
A sourdough jack burger.
Oh, but it's only good like the first time.
The first
right?
time, yeah.
And then after that, it's like,
don't eat that again.
Don't eat, yeah.
But I think what it is the diversity of foods. You know, from the fast foods to the Italian cuisine, the Mexican cuisine. You get a lot of different tastes there, and so leaving Ghana, you just go crazy of all the different things you can eat in a day.
Yeah, I mean, I totally get that. The problem is that so much of that food is not good for you.
Right.
So
it's processed, a lot is processed, and after about the first day you feel it. You do. You're like, wow, why do I feel sluggish? Why do I feel different
it's
eating
definitely,
this food? Yeah.
Definitely. So when you were stateside and we were talking about coming here, you were just like, I can't wait to get to the jollof and all.
I miss the jollof and tilapia, the banku and kenke. Just made you hungry, right?
All those people who are abroad watching this just got super hungry. So here's a question for you. What is the hardest part about going back to the States after being in Ghana or in any other African nation? Good question.
Drop a comment below and let us know what you think.
What's number 3?
Number 3.
Back to a police state.
Okay, so I do have to say, people do get worked up here in Ghana that there's like a lot of police officers.
Yeah.
And a lot of variety of police, like security and then actual police and then,
military.
Right. So there's a lot of...
And I'm good with that. It makes me feel secure going places and seeing well-built, fit officers.
Carrying guns.
Carrying.
Which are not very prevalent here, but,
Right. So, that's a good thing. It's a very different feeling you get going to America, where the police officers, they are more like, what are you doing? You shouldn't be here. Let me see some ID. And you don't get that.
Well, when you encounter a police officer here, there's no fear that you're going to end up dead.
Yeah. And
I feel like there are several instances where you've encountered police officers and you've had that feeling where something bad is going to happen.
Where
because of your...
I felt like if I don't diffuse this situation and deflate the air that is in the room, something's bad going to happen. And you don't get that here. Not at all.
Well, and we continue to see situations where Black and brown people are treated badly. Is that the polite word? Treated differently because of their brown and blackness,
which should not happen.
Totally.
So, it just feels like it's a police state. Police are everywhere, and they're not really there to help you in any way.
Some of them are. This is not a
this is not a bash, but it's like, they're there for law enforcement purposes.
And you, as you're walking through your life in your blackness in America, you can't figure out which one are the good cops and which one are the bad cops. You're always just you have that anxiety because it's always feels volatile. It always feels stressful. Is that yeah?
Yeah, I give you that. It's a lot of stress dealing with law enforcement there. So, Ghana's one of those places where it's very peaceful here, and you get this feeling like, because it's so peaceful, it's not a developing country compared to the U.S., where you go there and the police are just so into law enforcement.
That makes sense to me. That makes sense to me.
Hi, I'm Leo. Subscribe right now.
that brings us to number 4. Back to boring clothes.
Yeah.
Is that bad? It's like in the States, especially, for women in corporate America, it feels like we wear a lot of gray and black. And if you're
Dark
feeling a
blue.
little spicy, you might wear some navy. Woo!
Yeah. I enjoy the colors of Africa.
It is very, very different. It's very vibrant.
Yes.
And there's such a diversity in what's acceptable as daily wear and what's acceptable as office wear. I really enjoy that.
What I enjoy the most is all the patterns, the different colors, on the men as well as the ladies.
On the shirts as well as the pants.
On the shirts as well as the pants. You're right about that. So the creativeness of some of the dresses you see the ladies wear.
And the men who decide to don a full printed suit. Top to bottom.
Yeah, top to bottom. Not for everyone, but very, very colorful and
it's
rich.
But it's really one thing you notice. Like you as you travel back to the West, it's like it gets more and more boring every airport you hit until you get to your destination. You're like, wow. I mean, in Wisconsin,
very drab,
it's like,
and I think for me, it's like I can't wait to go to the tailor or to go to the fabric store and get something. And I think going to the States, I would miss that.
Well, when you went to the States, you went out in your African shirt, and you said that.
People looking at me like, "What I do from?" But it was a representation of me. How people rep themselves with their favorite logo on the team logo, or they wear, I'm a this fan or I'm a that fan, and it's this time of the year, so I'm wearing my green for St. Patty's Day. Where they do that, here it's representing something cultural. And
I mean, there are fabrics for events, like there's a certain fabric that is worn for different types of events. People might have an event and produce a specific fabric for that event, or
right. I have fabric from the 50th anniversary, Ghana's 50th anniversary, and had a top and bottom made out of it. So there's it.
But it doesn't translate.
Yeah, it's a representation of who you identify with that
and
you're wearing.
It does not translate. Like when you go out in the States, I think it's hard too, because you'll get some beautiful clothes made here, and then you get there and you're like, oh my gosh.
Am I too loud for these people?
Yeah, like you're just so loud with it.
Yeah. But here, you just fit right on in, and I love that. Yeah,
you actually
I love
stick
it.
out more when you're not wearing any, or if you're coming all black.
Yeah, like if I'm just wearing this t-shirt I'm wearing, I'll stick out just a little bit more because, next to you with this nice printed top on.
I am wearing all black pants.
She would blend in, and I'm like, Blaxit, what's on that? What is that about? What's on that shirt?
Yeah, so it really is back to pretty boring clothes in the States.
Yeah.
You'll hate that. It'll just kill you. Yeah. All right, drum roll please. Number 5.
Back to living without freedom.
Whoa. America is land of the free and home of the brave. I think it's printed. Land of the free, right?
You know what? A great example of what we mean by this is over the weekend we had some friends in town. Some guys of mine had some friends in town from the States, and they wanted to see what Timma had to offer as far as entertainment, night entertainment. So we just bar hopped. We went to about 6 or 7 places.
You did?
Yeah. So the thing that they kept saying was, we can't do this any place we know of in America, where we can go from one place to the other, not know anybody, but have a great time and party with people you just met, like you've known them for 5, 10, 15 years. And no, there's no fighting, there's no beef with this group or that group. You're just out to have a good time, and you're free to go have a good time without the worry that you have something's going to happen at the end of the night. We can't go there, that's
Getting
kind of
stopped by
for
the police
those people.
on your way home.
Yeah, you were just free to go about and go and have an entertaining night without hindrance from anyone.
Do you know what I actually think is interesting? Because you said this to me before. You said when people think of a country that's not free, they think of police out in the streets arbitrarily shooting people. They think of citizens armed and shooting one another. They think about not being able to express themselves because of fear of persecution or fear of backlash. And all the things you were listing, I was like, wait, that's totally the States.
That's the States. So
There is there's places you can't go.
Right.
Places you can't go. I mean, we lived in Texas, and there were a couple places where you forbade me from stopping.
Yeah, you can't pass through there.
You can't
you pass through very quickly. You don't stop there.
I actually got invited to do a teacher training in a town that you had banned me from.
Yeah, and
you were like, oh,
you can go do the training there, but you have to sleep outside of that town.
You were serious that I could not be there after dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was last year.
That's a reality that as Black Americans that we have, and unfortunately, that's a reality in a lot of smaller towns in the South.
But the fact that we consider America to be a land of freedom, and you do live in fear of being shot in the streets, being stopped by police and harassed, by being limited to where you can go because of the color of your skin, you really have to ask yourself, is America the land of the free for all Americans? Or is it just the land of a free for some Americans?
Right.
I think I know the answer that you would give.
Mm.
What do you guys think? Drop a comment. Let us know.
Mm.
I guess we should leave it at that. We could get really deep into this one, but we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it at these 5 big things that after being in Ghana, or really in many African nations, that you'll hate about going back to America. So, hey, don't leave.
Yeah. So, again, if you've never been to Ghana, start planning your next visit and consider Expat Life Ghana for your tours and day trips. Travel pickups from the airport to your destination. We got all that covered. Check out what we have to offer at expatlifeghana.com.
Yeah, definitely worry-free, and we'll make sure that you enjoy your Ghana experience. And if you are in Ghana and want to connect with others just like you, join the closed Facebook group. The link is in the description box below. You get to benefit from a community of folks just like you who are out to support one another. I love our group.
Oh, absolutely. And with that, Charlie out for now. Y'all be quiet.
Quiet on the set. The link is in the description box. Blah, 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 blah. And if you are in Ghana and one more time. And if you are in